You're listening to the Balanced Educator Podcast, episode number 100.
Welcome to the Balanced Educator. We're your hosts, Kaylee
and Josiane from Educalm. Our intention is to equip and empower you to feel more calm, balanced, and joyful in all aspects of your life. Hello there, and welcome to the Balanced Educator Podcast. I cannot believe that we are at episode 100. So crazy, so fun. We feel so blessed. We have the best audience, which is you guys. We're just so grateful that you keep coming back every week, and that makes us want to keep on keeping on with the podcast. That being said, we do have some changes coming up, so stay tuned for that. We'll talk about that soon. So, episode 100. We had some long discussions about what we were going to do that was special for episode 100. We did a poll on Instagram, and after all of that, we were like, the best conversations that we have are with real life teachers in the classroom. So for episode 100, we are celebrating by having an awesome Phys ed teacher named Stéphanie van der Linde. Stéphanie has been a physical educator for 4 years now, and she has been teaching at a French school in Manitoba, where we're from, with students from kindergarten to grade 6. Stéphanie is one of our ambassadors. It's been 2 years now, and we've gotten to know her really well. And oh my goodness, you guys, she is amazing, and you are so in for a treat with this episode. So in this episode, we will be talking about how Stéphanie shares mindfulness with her students using the Educalm classroom program, and also how she incorporates mindfulness with movement. Now, before we dive in, we want to share with you today's sponsor, Breathe for Change. Do you care deeply about wellness, equity, and social emotional learning? Do you want to gain the tools to enhance your own and your students' well-being? If so, then Breathe for Change is for you. Breathe for Change is a movement to enhance the health and well-being of teachers, students, and entire school communities. They offer the world's only 200-hour wellness, SEL, and yoga teacher training specifically for educators, and partner with schools, districts, and organizations to enhance community-wide well-being. Their work is completely life-changing. Lucky for you, Breathe for Change is nationwide, and applications for 2020 are now open. Through the training, you will be equipped and empowered to enhance your own well-being and integrate mindfulness and social-emotional learning into your classroom and community. Upon graduating their flagship training, you will be eligible to receive 2 certifications: the internationally recognized Yoga Alliance 200-hour yoga teacher certification and Breathe for Change's Wellness Champion certification. You can also get grad credits and CEUs. If you are committed to using wellness as a vehicle for social change and want to join an incredible community of thousands of like-minded leaders, then join the Breathe for Change movement and check out the trainings near you at www.breatheforchange.com. Again, that's breatheforchange.com. All right, ladies and gents, let's dive into the show.
Hello, Steph. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Kaylee.
We are so excited to have you here. Can you start off by just introducing yourself to our audience? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Stephanie, and I've been teaching for 4 years now. I'm in a French school. It's a K-6, and I'm teaching Phys ed, and it's the best thing ever. I love it so much. There's so much energy in the gym, but I just roll with it and I keep it going. And I play a lot of sports as well. I love volleyball. So right now I'm also coaching for a university team. And so life's pretty busy, but it's going really good.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
could you share with us a little bit? We're really excited to have you here as a phys ed teacher because we haven't interviewed many teachers that aren't classroom teachers. So we really want to get that perspective. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of like your educational philosophy? Like, what is it that you want students that are coming into your classroom to get as a value?
Right. So like when they're coming in, I just hope that they can take everything that they're learning in my phys ed classes and just apply it to their actual life. So whether it's just the phys ed abilities or just like how to self-regulate and how to handle just life in general with all these emotions and all these things that we have to do. So it's just like, how are they going to bring that back home and how are they going to be a better person? So I'm also learning them, not only teaching them how to be active and have those abilities, but also just to be a good human and learn how to deal with everything that's happening in life and to deal with those crazy emotions because life is rough. And even as a kid, there's so many obstacles and struggles. And I just want to be there to help them through that and show them and like just guide them and like give them strategies, you know?
That's awesome. I get the sense that you really take on that role of like a coach, not only in their, physical education, but also kind of in their lives. I've had so many great coaches in my life that have really been mentors, someone that I looked up to. And it sounds like you're really taking on that role in your class, which is awesome.
Right. Yeah, I love it. And it's just sometimes it's not really having to teach like the curriculum, but just teaching them just how to love and how to care. And, it's just those emotions that's going to teach them to be a better person.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. Just important things that they're going to bring into their lives, no matter where their lives take them. That's
exactly.
So yeah. So you've been using Educalm Classroom in phys ed with your students. Can you tell us kind of why you decided to do that? What was going on in your classroom that you were noticing? Like, what was the problem that was going on that you realized I really need to pay more attention to these emotions and give them tools for regulating them?
Yeah. So as soon as you say like, what are your problems? I think of my tough kids right off the hop. It's like, how am I supposed to help them? How can I create that relationship with them to help them grow and to be more independent? So I started this is my second year of doing Educalme in my phys ed classroom. And it was mostly for those big problems because I could tell that they would just explode right away. They wouldn't just deal with the situation, try to figure out themselves how to process this. And also I wanted to start Educalme just because in my own personal life, I've been going through some changes and I definitely needed help from Educalme just to learn myself, like how to cope with things and what strategies I could use in my own personal life. And just like talking through it with you guys, then I realized, well, this is perfect for my kids. Yes, it's very different than a classroom because kids have the perception that they come to phys ed and they're ready to move and be active and not just sitting and listening to something. But it's all about listening to your own body and how to deal with everything. So I just thought it would be great just to teach my tough kids how to deal with everything, just like I'm trying to deal with my stuff in my life. So yeah, and then I tried it out with you guys and wow, with those tough kids, visually, you can quickly see that change. So it was just really positive for me to see that. And just teaching with Educalme, it's helped me professionally by being more conscious of my students, where they're at, helping me be more present, and also just show the kids like, okay, I'm having a rough day too. But even when I take like just a couple breaths, they can just see the change. So then I start breathing and then the kids get they see what I'm doing and then boom, it just changes and they're doing it with me, even though I didn't even ask them.
That's amazing.
It's so fun. I love it.
It's a true testament to the importance of modeling the things that we want our students to adopt for themselves. And when you're modeling those deep breaths, then they're picking up on that. Our bodies are so in tune with one another. And as you're teaching them, like you said, to notice their bodies, that's got to be a really big part of phys ed as well. Like just that's a whole thing to learn, is how to recognize how your body's feeling, what it needs. Should you push it harder? Should you not? So it makes sense to me that it all kind of ties in.
Yeah. And like just the other day, I was not very calm because the kids were just doing whatever they wanted to do. And I was like, okay, you know what? Madame's not calm right now. So I'm just going to put my hands on my heart and I'm going to take my 5 deep breaths and close my eyes and just so I can calm myself down. And by the time I got to my second or third breath, I realized that the kids were breathing with me and I didn't even ask them to do it. So it was just such a cool experience to have.
That's awesome. And it's fun too, because instead of you escalating up to that intense energy that they had, you brought your energy down and they followed, which is really a skill that is hard to develop as a teacher. It takes time, and we're definitely not perfect at it all the time.
Definitely not.
but it's awesome that that's something that you're working on and that you're seeing the results in your students. It's so great.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know, we've talked a lot about how to use the Educalm classroom program in classrooms, but I'm sure it is probably a little bit different for you as a phys ed teacher. So what does your routine look like with this, both across a day, because you work with lots of different groups of students, and then also within one class? What does that routine look like?
Right. So this is my second year, but I feel like I'm still testing things out and seeing what works best for which group. But some groups, we've had the discussion about, okay, what is Educalme? What is being mindful, and why is it important in our own lives? And then I kind of just talk to them about the program Educalme and see how we can implement it in our phys ed class. And so for some students, it was kind of a vote to say, okay, you know what, let's do this at the beginning of the class. This way we're calm when we come in. And some other classes were like, you know what, I think it's a better idea to do this at the end. This way we're ready to learn. We're calm and ready to learn once we go back to class. So I do it with both and before and after. And it works both ways. I find I don't have a preference. It's just what the students pick. So if I do it before, then the students come in, and I do this with the 4, 5, and 6s. The students come in and then they find their own personal space that they want to go sit in, or they could stand. And then I'll start playing Educalme. And then afterwards, we'll just have a short 30-second to a minute. Okay, what did we learn? Why is this important? How can we implement this in our actual lives? And then they go change, and then we keep going with our phys ed class. And then at the end of the phys ed class, then it's like, I just give them a reminder. Okay, so right now our heart rate is really high, but now I want us to bring that down. So what strategies can we use to bring our heart rate down? So then they'll say either the 5-finger breathing, or they'll just say, you know what, I'll just close my eyes and focus on my breathing, or just put my hands on my heart, feel the rhythm going slower and slower. Some students, it's just, you know what, I'm just going to close my eyes, really listen to what's happening inside of my body, and just feel that heart rate going really quickly and trying to just slow that down. And then, which is such a cool experience too for the students, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if it's at the end of the class, then we'll just do like a normal phys ed class. And then at the end, they'll go change. And then while we wait for everyone to come out, I'll just be playing soft music. And that's like their own time for themselves to just calm down, or to think of their day or what they're doing in the evening. And then I'll start playing Educalme. And then again, that little conversation at the end, and then off to class they go. And then with the little kids, I do it a little bit differently. I don't necessarily do the whole program, but I'll do those conversations with the students in those transitions or at the end of my phys ed class. And the breathing is something that I do every day with the little kids. Well, I do it with all the kids, but especially the little kids. They're really into the 5-finger breathing. And I could have 3 classes of 25 students. And by the time I reach my 3rd finger, they're all quiet and they're all breathing with me, which is, it's just unreal. It's just quite the experience to see that. So, and I started that with my kindergartens last year, so now they're in grade 1. And for them, I really see the difference. They really have the hang of the importance of the 5-finger breathing, when I could use it, and it's so fun to see that growth within those students.
That's amazing. I love that with your older groups, you gave them that choice of, hey, when do you want to do this? I think that when we're giving our students choice in, those little choices that, we're going to do this program either way, but do you guys want to do it at the beginning or the end of class? It gives them more of a sense that this is a practice that's for them, that they're not doing it for you, they're doing it for themselves. It belongs to them and it's important for them. So it helps them to really connect with it in a deeper way, which is awesome. That's really cool too, how you're building on it through the ages. That's really neat, starting smaller with the younger groups and working your way up to longer practices with the older groups. So in our program, we have 2 and 5 minute audios in the first couple units. And then for the other ones, we just have 5 minutes still, because we've gotten feedback from teachers that once they have the first couple units that they do the 2 minutes, they move up to the 5 minutes pretty quickly, because students are able to gain that ability to sit still for longer fairly quickly. So I'd love to know, do you utilize the 2-minute and 5-minute audios, or do you just stick with one or the other? How are you using those?
Yeah, so what I've noticed for phys ed is that with the kids' perception coming into the class that it's ready, it's time to move and to just be active, and just energy levels are up. So for them, I think just their perception of 5 minutes seem long. I'm sure if I just never even told them that it was 5 minutes, they wouldn't have even known.
Yeah.
But I've realized that I've been doing the 2-minute ones, not all the time, but most of the time. And the kids seem to be more engaged when it's 2 minutes. I think for them, it's just a number. But because then it's like, okay, well, if it's 5 minutes, then it's taking away minutes of my being active.
Right.
But the 2 minutes have really helped me get more of them more engaged, and like it's more of a buy-in for my older students. And also if the class is just hectic, or sometimes I have like a big lesson, a 2-minute, it's perfect, because I'm still doing Educalm with them and they're still getting the gist of what it is. So I really like the variation between the 2 minutes and the 5 minutes, because then as a teacher, I can pick, okay, my students, what do they really need right now? Can they do the 5 minutes? Or you know what, today's not a good day, let's do a 2-minute one. So I really like that option.
Awesome. So do you in any way attach what they're doing in the Educalm classroom to the actual learning outcomes, like for reporting on report cards and giving a mark in any way? Is there an attachment there, or is it kind of more of like a general practice that's teaching them other skills?
Yeah, it's mostly a general practice, but I could still relate it, and I still relate it to the curriculum as well, just to see how they can control their heart rate. And this is for the older kids, right? So it's more about that body feel. So can they calm their heart rate, and are they able to see, okay, now it's a good time to have my heart rate up, or now is a better time to have my heart rate down. So I'm assessing students when they should have their heart rate up or down, and how they can do that. So I'm asking, okay, how do you do that? When should you do that? And what strategies can you use as well? And for the little kids, it's mostly, okay, are they able to self-regulate and just find that calmness when it's time to, okay, put the toys away, put the equipment away. It's, this is what we have to do. We have to go in line, sit, So I'm assessing that in a more less structured way for the little kids.
Nice. So I know there's some classes in your school that use Educalm Classroom in their classrooms. Do you have any classes that are doing it both with you and in their classrooms?
Actually right now, I feel like there's not really like a collaboration between phys ed and the classroom. But that's a really good idea to have that connectedness this way. If you're teaching something specific in the classroom, this way I can easily bring that up in phys ed. This way the students can see, oh, this relates in the classroom and phys ed. Oh, and at home, like it relates everywhere. This way, there's more of a buy-in for the students as well. But yeah, I haven't really done that yet, but I would really like to.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if you end up doing that. No pressure. But if you do, I'd be just curious to know. I was mostly curious too about if there's classes that are doing it in the classroom and then they're doing it also in gym. Is there any kind of like pushback from the students like, oh, we already did this once today? Or are you seeing that they're really grasping the practices and the strategies faster?
Right. I mean, from what I'm noticing, the kids who have done Educalm in the classroom, they're already coming to me, be like, oh, like, Madame, I know what this is. Like, this is what we could do. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Like, why don't you show everybody what we should be doing right now? Or what does this mean? And even the other day, I played the video because you guys have 5-minute videos as well. Love those videos. This way the kids the kids are still moving and standing and doing something, but they're still focusing on their body and finding that inner calm. So for the students that have been doing Educalm, I could see that they're still very excited and they've really been grasping the concepts because they're telling me what's going on and what they can do at home and why is this important. So it's just fun to see that correlation between the classroom and phys ed as well.
Awesome. That's good to hear. So I'm wondering now, especially since you're not a classroom teacher, you're doing this in phys ed. I'm wondering if there's any hurdles that you've encountered along the way of using Educalm Classroom. Was there anything with the students or with structuring it or finding the time for it? And if you did have some hurdles, how did you overcome those hurdles?
Yeah, so I'm still having those challenges not quite often, but I'm still having those challenges and I'm still working on them. It's just such a growing process for me and the students. But so one of my challenges have been, okay, where are the children going to sit? It's such a large space. It's an unstructured space, which makes a huge difference. I'm one person for a big space as well. So some classes, if I have confidence in them, they are able to pick their spots, which I feel like for the classes that I have confidence in, that's working out just great. The other classes, so one of my grade 4 classes are a little bit more challenging. So for them, I've recently picked a spot for them in a more structured, smaller space. And now I'm seeing a difference that they're more engaged when listening to Educalm, and they can afterwards, like during our conversations, they're telling me about, oh yeah, I could do this at home, or this is what this means. So I feel like they're understanding more just because I changed where they could sit. Because I guess I let them be like, okay, you can sit wherever you want, but it was just chaotic. So yeah. I just had to shrink that and make that a little bit more structured for them. And now it's working. Also just trying to like set everything up. Sometimes I'm trying to deal with students, but I have to set up Educalm. So like through my laptop, and sometimes I just have problems with the technology. So, and I mean, when that happens, okay, what can we do? Okay, we can lay down, sit, I could play soft music, and I can slightly guide them through a meditation just from what I've learned through you guys. So yes, there's challenges, but there's always ways to overcome that.
Awesome. That's really helpful. I would say one of our top questions that teachers ask is how to get the students to sit, or where to get them to sit, or how to overcome if your students aren't super engaged or a little bit chatty. So it's really helpful that you shared that hurdle and then how you overcame it. And I always like to say that with every group, just like you shared, it's different and there isn't one right way. You kind of just have to go into it knowing that, okay, everything's an experiment. I'm going to experiment with this, see how it goes. And then I'm a professional. So if something doesn't go well, I'm going to come up with a solution and try something different. Just like anything we do in the classroam. We're always trying to figure out how to make it work better, right? And smoother.
Right. And I now know, like, okay, some kids, they need to be laying down. Some kids need to be standing. Some kids need a mat, So it's just all that learning curve, and I'm learning what the kids' needs are. So it's been fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So my next question is, what specific skills, you've talked about this a little bit, but what specific skills have you noticed that your students are developing over time as you're using Educalm Classroom with them?
Definitely self-regulation is the biggest. And just learning how they're feeling and just how to self-regulate those emotions. So now I'm just noticing that I've been having less problems, and this goes for K to 6. So not just my older kids, but also my younger ones as well, that instead of coming to me with the problem, they're able to kind of talk it out and figure out, okay, what's a solution? If they do come to me for a solution and they didn't try it first, then I send them to, we have like a wheel of solutions. And some of them is rock, paper, scissors, or a message clair, which is
a clear message.
A clear message. Yeah. Sorry, just thinking in French here. But
Yeah.
Or there's also like the breathing techniques are on there as well. So that's just been really helping the kids figure out, okay, so I don't need Madame's help right away. How can I do this on my own to figure out the solution to this problem? Also, when students, now I'm thinking of my tough students who have really big personalities, big emotions, and kind of problems just find them. But now I'm seeing that they're able to walk through those steps and to say, okay, you know what, right now I just need space. I need to go drink water, go for a little walk, and then come back and then solve it. Some students just kind of sit on the little mat because I have a little mat out and that's their little calming corner. And some of them just know I need like my own little time out, my time to myself to reflect. So I'm finding that as a teacher, there's less like gestion, like there's
less to manage.
Yeah, exactly. There's less to manage on my part on their emotions and their problems because they're realizing how I'm feeling and what are the steps to solve that.
Awesome. That's what every teacher wants, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes my job easier, so I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. And again, not only is it making your job easier, but those are such important skills for these students to have going into their lives. So if, as you said, you really want to prepare these students to have good lives and be able to manage themselves and their emotions and all these things in their lives, well, that's exactly what is happening. So that's awesome.
Yeah, because they're not going to, when they leave school, they're not going to remember what they did in math class or science or how to throw a ball properly. They're going to learn those social skills that they've learned through the teachers. And I mean, that's huge. Like social skills are so important. And if they don't know how to self-regulate and to deal with those problems, and if they don't know how to do that right now, it's going to be so much harder to learn that as an adult. So I just want to give those skills and give that foundation right now when they're young.
That is awesome. So my next question is, what do the classroom teachers that, now you're sending these kids back into their classrooms, have the classroom teachers mentioned anything about what they're seeing in their classrooms from your students doing Educalm with you?
Yeah, so I've been getting feedback that the students seem more calm going into class and a little bit more ready to learn, which is huge positive news for me. That means like, okay, I'm actually doing something good for them and it's really helping them. And if I go back to my grade ones, which I've been very consistent with that class since kindergarten, as soon as they leave the gym or as soon as it's time to find their calm, they can self-regulate so quickly, and it's really helping the classroom teachers as well when they're teaching. And even though they don't use Educalm, some of them even just talk about those breathing techniques in the classroom. So it's so nice to hear that positive feedback from the teachers.
That's great, because that can be so tough as a classroom teacher when students come in after gym and they're all excited and riled up, and you have to try to calm them down before you can start the learning and the lesson that you had planned. So I'm sure the teachers really appreciate that those students are coming back to class already calm.
Yeah, and I mean, I just feel bad as a phys ed teacher if I were to send the students back to class and they're just super crazy and gung-ho about everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's my responsibility to calm them down and get them ready to go back to class and get ready to learn. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Team effort. I like it. So I'd love to know now, what advice would you give a phys ed teacher or any other specialist that's thinking about starting Educalm in their classrooms? What advice would you give them?
To really get the kids involved in those conversations of why it's important and just kind of get that buy-in from them. Because if you don't really have that buy-in from them, then it's just like during the practice, like they're just kind of playing around or talking to their friends. I think this program is just so important that really, yes, in phys ed, it's just a different atmosphere and environment, but you can easily make it work. And
That's awesome.
there's just, the kids are learning so much from this. And I think phys ed is a good place to start, even because of there's so many transitions in one phys ed class that the students need to be able to self-regulate and to find their calmness during those transitions. And also, even if you think of high-end athletes, they need to be able to control those emotions and their heart rate. So if I think of volleyball, like even to my university girls right now, I just talk about, okay, when you're going up for a serve, what are you thinking about? Because if it's don't miss the serve, well, what's going to happen? You're going to miss the serve. You just need to calm that heart rate down, get your mindset in the game, and just overcome those obstacles. And I think just being conscious and present, learning those skills can really even help in a game. In any sports.
Absolutely. When I was younger, I used to be a competitive gymnast, and that's where I was first introduced to mindfulness and to visualization, because my coach had us always sit down, put our head down, close our eyes, and visualize ourselves doing a routine before we went and did it, and feel it in our body. And that's where I really started to learn that deep connection between mind and body. Yeah, it's just an awesome skill to get to learn when you're younger and be able to take it into every aspect of your life later. So you talked about the importance of just kind of talking to your students about why this is important. Could you walk me through more specifically exactly how you did that with your students? Was it just like, did you take a whole class to do a lesson on it, or was it just a general conversation? What did that look like?
So I try to break it down to pieces, because if I would take the whole class to discuss, they would not be impressed with me.
Yeah.
They'd be like, Madam, we haven't even moved yet. But I try to do maybe the first lesson would be about 10 minutes about, okay, what do you think this is? Why do you think it's important? And then kind of build it up from there. And then the next lesson would be okay, well, how's this relative to your own personal lives at home or outside of school? And then just kind of each class, just build it up from there. And also with your different PDF files, you have different lessons attached. There's different, there's good questions written on there. So then with that, I can see what the kids are learning, what they want to learn about, and how they're grasping that knowledge and using it into different aspects of their lives.
Nice. So do you use the actual PDFs with your students, or do you just use that as something to kind of jump off of in discussions?
I'll use it with my 4 to 6s. I'll use them, and I might not print out the whole booklet, but I'll print out, okay, this page here from this module, this page here from this module. Because as soon as I take out pen and paper too, they start, oh, madam.
Yeah.
So again, but that goes back to the challenges. But it's okay, you know what? You write me really deep down, what you think, how this is going, and what you want to learn. And then it's okay, and then it's free time for you. You earn that that reward if you just give me some good, deep conversation of what's going on in your life and how I can help you even more.
Yeah.
So but I haven't done it with the little kids, any of the booklet parts, but I will read the quotes. I'll show them the pictures, and for them, like, that's more visual. I won't get them writing though, because that's just a little bit too long.
Yeah,
too much for the little kids. Especially for the little kids, we're also combined 2, sometimes 3 classes, a good chunk of the week. So for them, I'll just stick to the visual cues. So which is really helpful, because they're like, oh, like, okay, what does this word mean? Or sometimes they'll remind me, hey, madam, you didn't take out the new quote for today. And so, it's going really good with that.
That's awesome. And it sounds like with the discussions that you're having with your students, you said after you listen to the audios, you'll have kind of a quick discussion. It sounds like you're asking the types of questions that are reminding them why it's important. So that why is coming up every time, where they're remembering or talking about how this applies to their life, how it helps them. So it's always reminding them that, yes, this is an important practice for you.
Exactly. I'm always trying to relate it back to their lives outside of school and how this is going to help them, because I know that that's just how they're going to grasp it a lot more. Oh, it's actually applicable. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. As teachers, how many times have we heard, like, when am I ever going to need to do this in my real life?
Exactly. Yes. So I'm always trying to find that answer to that question.
Yeah, that's awesome. So my last question for you is, I'd love to know, out of everything that's in Educalm Classroom, there's, the audios, the PDFs, the mindful movement videos. What is the part of the program that is the most useful to you and that you like the most?
One part, yikes, Kaylee, that's hard, because honestly, like, everything is written out for me. I don't have to do anything except for print the PDFs. So it's all there. It's clearly written step by step how to even have these conversations. Because at the beginning, like, when I started this, I was like, hey, what does mindfulness even mean to me? But then I saw that in your program, it's all written there of even how you can have that discussion with the students. So I don't think I could pick one thing, Kaylee, because even like the 2 minutes, the 5 minutes, it's such good options. And then the videos, if I find that they're a little bit more active and that they don't really, it's not a day to just sit down and listen, it's a day to move, then I can play that. There's different themes to go with what I want my students to learn. So at the beginning, I'll do the breathing techniques. This way they have that as a good foundation and they know exactly what mindfulness means. But then later on, there's all about like gratitude, which I love, in the self-confidence. And when I'm talking to girls, especially, that I've noticed, okay, like low self-esteem, low self-confidence, well, I can go to the self-confidence and play some videos just to help those girls who are struggling with that. So there's just so many themes that I can relate it to whichever way I want. And also, I've really been enjoying the videos for the teachers, or the audios for the teachers, because we've been doing kind of like a Zen / Zumba Mondays. So I've been playing that as well for the teachers. And I think for them, that's just like okay, let's refocus, regroup. And now I'm ready to go back after lunch with the afternoon with the students. So honestly, like, everything has just been so amazing. It's all there for me. I really don't have to do anything except for press play. And it's something so consistent in my practice as a teacher. And it's nice for just my own personal growth as well. So it's just been an unreal experience. And it's just awesome that you guys have spent so much time organizing and creating this for teachers like us. So thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That honestly, like, I have goosebumps and I'm a little misty-eyed, because that's exactly our intention with this program. Is it's for teachers and it's for students. It's really to improve the wellness and mental health of everyone in schools, which is kind of our big why. So I'm really happy to hear that you're enjoying all the pieces of it.
Yes. Oh, I am. And you guys are so easy to talk to, and you guys are so quick, like answering emails as well. So if I have any questions, like I know you guys are there for me and are willing to help me out with whatever. So it's so nice.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And we haven't quite announced this yet or talked about it a lot yet, but, we have on our new website created a space on the website where it's going to be even easier to connect and collaborate. And so we've added a forum to the website, which will be a space where you guys can ask us questions and share things together, give each other ideas, collaborate, answer each other's questions. It's going to be a really great space for community. So,
oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Awesome. Well, Steph, thank you so, so much for sharing your experience with us. It's so awesome to hear a different perspective, kind of an outside of the general regular classroom perspective. And I think a lot of the things you shared of just how you're using the program is going to get transferred into classrooms of teachers that have listened to this episode. So thank you so much for sharing your journey with us.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Kayla. It's been a pleasure.
Wasn't that just the best way to celebrate our 100th episode? Like, so much fun to interview real life teachers in the real life classroom, and how fun to bring on Stéphanie, who is a phys ed teacher. It's so fun that our program, Educalm Classroom, goes beyond the regular classroom. So fun. So, your exit ticket for today is to try out Educalm Classroom with the free trial. So the free trial includes 4 to 5 weeks of mindfulness for your classroom. And really, it's just your clear roadmap and your simple action plan to prioritize social emotional development so that your students are ready for calm and focused learning. And it's no prep required, best part. So go to educalm.com and sign up just like that. And it's awesome too because the free trial never expires. So you can use it this year and next year and the year after and for however long you are teaching. So again, that's educalm.com. That's EDUCALME. Try it out, enjoy, and we'll see you next week. Have an awesome week.